And now a very special treat that I, for one, have been very anxiously waiting for. Everyone wants to know more about their ancestry, where they came from, who they came from, and how they connect to the world at large. Well, joining me now to help me answer some of these questions, Director of PR from MyHeritage, Sarah Vanunu. Sarah, it is my pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so first of all, let's cover the basics. What are the biggest reasons that somebody would want to explore their family history, and what kind of records does MyHeritage provide?
Sure. Well, I'll start with the second part. MyHeritage is the leading global discovery platform for exploring family history. So why someone would want to come to such a platform is, of course, to explore their own family history, build their family trees, understand more about their ethnicity, find relatives, both living and deceased, and to make use of a massive database. I'm talking about 18 billion historical digitized records. This can include, birth certificate, death certificate, population records, you name it. Not to mention one of the world's largest consumer DNA databases. So with the use of matching technologies, one can find their family history and their relatives.
So we're talking about technology, and I know that I took a DNA test, a nice spit swab. What did we find?
We did take a look at your DNA, with your permission, of course.
Thank you.
What do you think that we found? Do you have any idea?
I know that my mother's side comes from Iraq and back generations, according to the story, and that my father's side, the running joke is that if you stick a pin somewhere in Europe, we're from there. So that's about the extent.
Well, let's take a look.
Yes.
So what we see here is that you're 50.7% Ashkenazi Jewish.
Okay.
You're 38.2% Mizrahi Jewish.
Okay.
These are your two major ethnic breakdowns. And especially the genetic group from Iraq, this matches perfectly with the family tree that we built you.
Okay. So, all right. So then let's look at some of the other research here. I'd love to know what you found on my dad's side as well, because you said, what was it, 50.7?
Other way around. Yeah.
Oh,
50.7 Ashkenazi.
50.7 Ashkenazi. Yes. So I'm guessing that's all
your,
my dad.
Yeah, your paternal side of the family came from Central and Eastern Europe.
Okay.
And your maternal side of the family comes from Kirkuk, Iraq.
Wow.
So let's dive in.
Yes, please. Yeah, like what did they do? What did you find out? Like, where did my father's paternal side live? Like, who are they?
What languages did they speak? What did they do?
Exactly.
All of that we can find. Your ancestors from your father's side, they've come from Russian, Austro-Hungarian, and German empires from the end of the 19th century.
Wow.
They settled in New York. They were involved in the clothing industry as cutters and salesmen, as well as in the grocery industry and railway industries. What we see here in the 1910 US Census are your great-great-grandparents living in the Bronx. We see Jacob, 39 years old, and his wife Henrietta Porras, born Silverman. We see their two sons, Harry and Sidney. Sidney is your great-grandfather.
Oh, man.
The records show that Jacob is a native of Rom Yiddish. So this means that he's Romanian and native language is Yiddish. Jacob was a wholesale merchant in groceries. Your great-great-grandmother, Henrietta, she's born in New York.
Okay.
And her father is listed as native Rus Polish. This means, meaning from Poland, but from the Russian part of Poland.
Interesting.
And her mother was born in Germany.
All right, so is it possible to find out like what they looked like? Do we have photos of them?
Yes. So what we see in World War I draft registrations is your great-grandfather Sidney Ross.
No kidding.
And we see a description. He's 21 years old. He's neither tall nor short. He's slender.
Oh.
Dark brown eyes, black hair, not bald.
This is wild.
So we have a nice description of him.
Wow, but they described him, but they didn't. Did they not have? Yeah, they had cameras back then. No.
We have another record that we came across with a picture of your grandfather, Robert Porras.
Oh yeah.
Do you consider yourself a hard worker, Aaron?
Not as hard as him. I heard stories.
Robert had a definite idea about work, as you can see in this 1944 DeWitt Clinton High School yearbook.
Oh my gosh.
Where he says, work and play don't mix, so why work? This is Robert.
That's so funny.
This is your grandfather. And we can also see what some of his classmates in this yearbook.
Oh my gosh. All right, so like what about my mother's side?
If we jump to your mother's side, she's from Kirkuk, Iraq. This is a town about 148 miles north of Baghdad. There were around 200 Jewish families there. They first settled at the turn of the 17th century. All the Jews of this town immigrated to Israel in 1950 and 1951. So to bring your family history to life, we found a photo of your great-grandfather, Zadok Cohen. This image, it was black and white and quite blurry, but we've managed to enhance and repair and colorize the image.
Oh my gosh.
In addition, we went one step further with your great-grandmother, Tafcha Cohen, Shemesh, and we've enhanced, colorized, and animated her picture.
Oh my gosh. You can make it move? That's
you can
insane.
make it move.
Oh my gosh. All right, like, so what, how did you go about finding all these things? Like, what's the process?
Well, anyone can go to MyHeritage.com. Although we did the research for you because you asked us to do it, you don't have to be a genealogist or a professional researcher. Any novice or amateur that just has basic information about their family, their parents, their grandparents, they just put it in, and quickly, due to matching technologies, the system starts to feed them information.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm so happy you came in here. This has been an amazing experience, and I want everybody at home to feel the way I do right now. So if you actually go to myheritage.com/ILTV, you get a 14-day free trial for all of the MyHeritage family tree and research tools. This is an exclusive discount for ILTV viewers. Sarah, thank you so much again for coming in.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, it's Emmanuel Kadosh. I wanted to invite you all to subscribe to ILTV Plus, where you can find our daily news and updates about Israel. And not only that, but live feeds, entertainment, our kosher food show, and so much more. Needless to say, your subscription to ILTV Plus helps us grow and create more content while also supporting the state of Israel. Our app is available on all platforms and devices, so I'll see you guys there.